everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This week I wanted to talk a little bit more about the VW ID3. So before we go anywhere, I'm not bashing the ID3. I suppose just a quick apology for my last video. The last video stated that these cars were, I suppose, going out to the end users or public. They're not. They were cars that were ready for test drives of the software and everything, and that's what I want to go into. So they're not for the public, but generally I still stand by the fact that those cars really, in the way that were being left out in the open, probably still didn't do them very good. Anyway, let's get into it. So this week, as reported by, now take this with a pinch of salt, a website called Tasmanian.com has recently reported that VW is still very much struggling with the ID3. Not necessarily with the car. So the car, as everyone knows, has been manufactured and mass manufactured, and they're really starting to ramp that up. The problem that they're finding at the moment is with software. So I was thinking about this really, and everyone relates new EVs back to Tesla for obvious reasons. Now Tesla really, in my opinion, is a technology company rather than a car company, even though they do cars. They're very much software integrated with the car, and that's built from the get-go. You know, the software and the hardware are built in tandem. So that got me thinking, and this article came up from a friend on Twitter, John House, so thank you for that, John. But recently there's a equivalent of about 10,000 testers essentially for the ID3 that are testing the software on those pre-production ID3s. Now so far apparently they've found about 300 bugs, which is not uncommon for a piece of software or technology. Anyone that's worked in the technology industry will know that that is a common thing. You build the software, you bug test it, you debug until the point where it's satisfactory, and then you roll it out, and then, like every software these days, you have an update after update after update. The worrying thing with this is that the reports are saying that because of these issues and multiple issues, that there is a possibility that the VW ID3 in particular could be delayed. Now, I don't want that to happen, because I think the ID3 is going to be absolutely amazing for the industry. And I know there's a lot of people out there, certainly the people that follow me and on Twitter as well, that have pre-ordered the ID3. So, you know, they must be waiting with bated breath in terms of news on this. But apparently they were saying the site of the reason for the issues is that because the production cars were made in haste and obviously trying to get them ramped up, the software was far behind, and the individual parts of the architecture of the software aren't talking nicely to each other, basically. And that's where these 10,000 engineers are going through and trying to identify the issues and resolve them. Now, I don't know whether this is because, like the Tesla, you know, it wasn't done in tandem with the hardware, or whether it was done the hardware, do the software, and you know, obviously bug fix afterwards. But apparently they've been working on this since mid-December with issues back then. There is the plan was always for those original 10,000 ID3s to have those parked and then manually have those software updated, and then when the production cars roll out, or the more of the production cars roll out, they'd roll out more firmware over the air, like similar to Tesla. So I think that's still going to happen, but apparently there is a second wave of software for the ID3 that is scheduled to happen mid-May, with more than 20,000 ID3s to be updated now. So I really hope that they do sort this out, because I wouldn't want to see this delay too much, because VW, in my opinion, have got an opportunity this year, and I think if they don't meet it this year, other manufacturers will start to produce and mass produce cars, especially if they can pull things together, and they may overtake VW. So VW again are a traditional car manufacturer that are trying to completely forget the past and go into the future in terms of their electrification of all their models that have come out. So they've announced they announced loads, but actually ID3 is really the main one that's due to come out. And looking down this article, there is still a lot of issues to resolve and a lot of bugs to resolve, and apparently these are coming up daily, which again is not unusual. But let's hope that they resolve these, so that people can actually start receiving their cars. I believe it's in the summer they're due to be released. So they've got some time, and hopefully they make best use of that time to actually fix all these issues and get the car and the software to work in parallel and in tandem. It's interesting that, you know, they're not the only company to have these issues. I think it's a common thing that with companies that are not technical or tech companies, and they're traditional car manufacturing companies, there's a massive change for them to go to electric cars. And it's not just about the car itself, the software and making a car more smart, and obviously all the features that now people are expecting. So, you know, you expect so much for, say, a smartphone. You expect so much in technology now that they have to produce this, and they have to produce this. Minimal effort in terms of the interior and the software in the car is just no longer acceptable. So let's hope that VW you know, pull this out of the bag and actually manage to get deliveries on time and it's not delayed. I really hope it's not. I know there's a couple of people that are obviously waiting on their orders, so, you know, I'd hate to think that theirs is delayed because of poor planning and poor software implementation. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Please check out my Patreon page if you haven't already. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.